back to the bottom, 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down, hop these curves up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over. Down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
Several months ago, the Outsider Racing League began their season in Daytona Beach, Florida. Now, for the end of the season, we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where NASCAR used to end their season, and Finian, this track is one of the fastest in NASCAR. At the height of its speed, over 200 miles an hour at the end of the straightaways, high speeds, high banks, a phenomenal place to end the season. But now, after decades and decades, the surface is worn out, it's bumpy, it's crude, it's rough, and very, very slippery. It's the conclusion of the season for the 2019 Outsider Racing League season, and there's 2 drivers, Eli Hinton and Elliot Butler, battling for the points, separated by only 13 markers. And they're going to do battle in the 1.5-mile Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final race of the season. It's anyone's race if either one of them makes a big mistake.
Yeah, 20 rounds of racing. It's all come down to this last run at Atlanta, and what a place to have it at, with the NASCAR Cup Series. One was then the Winston Cup Series used to finish their race at Atlanta before Homestead was pretty much made the de facto ending point of the season. But yeah, we're here at Atlanta. 4 turns. It should be a very slippery and a very hot track. We take a look at our track conditions in a second here.
Yeah, let's take a look at our conditions for tonight's race, Finian. It's 121 degrees on the racing surface, and that's not the hottest we've seen all season, not even close. However, this racetrack is slippery even in the coldest conditions. The pavement is ancient. It has no grip out there. And even with the extra downforce they have on this new 2019 package, you're going to see drivers slipping and sliding all night long, and maybe even opening up some multiple grooves, which we have not seen a lot of with this new package in 2019. So really curious to see how the racing's going to go. We have 140 laps on tap for tonight. Predictions for the championship, though, Finian. Eli Hinton comes in with a big lead, but one little slip-up could end that all right here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really, I think, the thing that Eli needs to work out, or make sure he doesn't do is get in a wreck. If he finishes in a semi-decent position, and if Butler doesn't get every single bonus point that he can, I think Hinton's going to be in a fantastic position for this championship. I mean, 13 points is a pretty decent margin. Nothing to shy away from, but it's pretty easy to rest your laurels a bit on that too, especially looking at the timesheets right now. So far in practice, Eli's 3rd on the timesheets, Butler back in 14th.
Absolutely. So one of the drivers, actually talked to both of the drivers before we get running tonight. We only have about 5 minutes to do it. So we're going to talk to Eli Hinton now, who leads the points by 13 coming into Atlanta. Eli Hinton, driving the number 13 Sim Motorsports Camry. Prepared for tonight, 140 laps. How to get this thing done?
Well, that 13-point lead for the 13 car. Hopefully that helps me out. I seem to try to keep the car clean, not get any trouble, and just do my thing.
So heading into a race like this, it's very, very slick. Do you think we're going to see multiple grooves, or going to be at the bottom of the racetrack feeding against that white line?
I've tried the high line and wanted to, but I think we're going to be bottom feeding. It's even looser on the top, which is kind of weird. It's a pretty loose setup, which it's a good thing in my opinion. But normally once you get to the top, it's not as loose and you kind of go more full throttle, but it's actually the opposite. There's less grip up top, so I think we're going to bottom feed the whole time.
Coming into a championship race, you have a pretty safe lead. Do you treat this on offense, or are you coming in here defensively, just trying to protect what you have?
Well, I kind of need to protect, but I'm just going to race how I normally race. Maybe be a little bit less aggressive and just try to keep my car clean and not get any trouble. I should be okay.
Looking back at the season as a whole, it started off a little bit rough, but you racked up a couple victories. Are there any regrets or things you would change about how you drove throughout the season from start to finish?
I feel like I've been a little bit too aggressive this season. Definitely gonna take that into factor. Like, going forward now, just try to be a little bit more clean.
Heading into tonight, if you're behind Elliot Butler with 5 laps to go, how do you race him, and how do you think he'll race you?
I'm just gonna race him how I normally do. Try to keep it clean, stay off of him, but just race.
All right, just race. That's what Eli Hinton's gonna do. Good luck out there, buddy. We're gonna be rooting for you, and keep it out of the fence, and keep that thing going straight. Good luck, and we'll see you later.
Yep, thanks. Have fun up there.
Absolutely. So that was Eli Hinton driving for Sim Motorsports here tonight. I'm going to send him back to where he was, which I got to find the channel. Oh, he's found himself. Thank you.
That sounded very weirdly spiritual.
Weirdly spiritual for sure. But now we're going to talk to Elliot Butler, who comes into this final race of the season, only 13 points back from Eli Hinton. Elliot Butler, welcome to the booth. Prepared for this race? How are you going to take down that 13 of Eli Hinton?
Gonna have to have good long runs, just keep consistent, and not make mistakes. Pretty much gonna need a little bit of help from Eli. Hopefully he has a rough night. We're gonna need it if we're gonna win this championship, but when it happens, gotta be ready to pounce.
Atlanta's always a tricky racetrack. It's always very slippery. The track conditions really hot tonight. Are you going to be playing around with experimenting with different lines, or do you think you're just going to find the bottom of the racetrack and stay there most of the evening?
I think we're going to be playing around a little bit. I think the bottom line's the preferred groove, but that don't count that middle line out. Don't think much action is going to happen up top, but middle line, I think there might be something there.
It's been a relatively quiet season for you in that number 6 car. No wins this season, I believe, right? Is that right, Finian? No wins so far this season. Do you think you can change that tonight at all?
Yeah, I think I'll be competitive. I don't think I'm going to be the fastest guy, so if it goes green to the end, I'm probably not going to be the guy that wins, but I think we can make strategy calls work, or late restart if we're in the top 2 or 3 rows. I think we can make something happen.
And a synopsis of your season from Daytona to Atlanta. What would you give yourself in a letter grade in terms of your performance this season? Because you put yourself in championship position. So what would you grade yourself, and what will you do if that 13 car is right in front of you with 5 laps to go?
I'd give myself a B. I think I could have been a bit better over the course of the season. We've had our ups and downs and a lot of downs, but I haven't got that win yet. But I'm going to try to make it happen tonight. If I'm behind Eli with 5 laps to go, just going to try to race him clean, but you ain't giving him any extra room. He's going to have to make a tight space.
All right, well, good luck out there, Elliot. We'll be pulling for you. Go take that battle to the Sim Motorsports Camry, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, so that was Elliot Butler. Finian, both drivers seem relatively confident. I think Butler's coming in here a little bit more on offense, though, because take a look at where he is in the running order right now, sitting 14th. So he's got some work to do if he wants to take down Eli Hinton. However, Eli's been known to overdrive a little bit and maybe get himself into trouble. So what do you think that 13 car has to do to win this championship?
Well, what he exactly needs to do is finish 9th, because if he finishes at least 9th, he is guaranteed the championship. At 9th place, they would tie in points, and in that case, I would imagine that it would go to the next dividing line, which is the amount of wins. Eli has 2 wins this season, but Elliot Butler with none. So in that tiebreaker, Eli would win. So if Butler wins the race, this is not including bonus points, obviously, because we have to wait for the race. Without bonus points, if Elliot wins the race, just purely on race points, and Eli finishes 10th, it would go to Elliot Butler. So really for Eli, it's a matter of finishing in roughly the top half of the field, and just making sure he doesn't make a mistake, especially as we saw with last week, where he got put down in the order, got involved in a wreck when was just struggling to claw back to the points.
So as practice concludes here, Alec Martinez tops the board, and the interesting news out of Outsider Racing League a couple weeks ago was that Alec Martinez will be taking over that ride from Eli Hinton for next season on Sim Motorsports, and also Casey Lakatos in the number 50 will be joining the Sim Motorsports team. As we head over to qualifying now, fitting 5 minutes, 2 laps, got to do your best. How do you qualify at a slick racetrack like this? What's your best strategy?
I mean, I would say there's a lot of strategy, but I mean, with this new package, it's kind of just foot to the floor. I actually am kind of curious to see these guys take a lap. I'm actually not sure if they have to let off, just due to how old and how slippery the surface is tonight. So I think we should probably, best thing to do would probably be right on board with someone. And Mark Emerson, first guy out of the pit, so we're right on board with him.
Yeah, Mark Emerson had a great start to the season, Finian, but slowly dropped off. I think he missed a couple races and dropped down the running order just a little bit. So we're right on board with the 22 on his qualifying lap. We'll get an idea of how he's taking this course. We'll also mention that tonight is a Dash for Cash race, and I think everybody kind of forgot about it until right before we went live, so we don't have everybody highlighted for you. But the 5 drivers that will be eligible for the prize: Alex Bell's number 15, Bruce Boyer's number 14, Brian Chambliss is 21, Mark Emerson in his 22 car, and Chris Stouffer in the 5, eligible for the prize if they win the race under green flag conditions.
I'm just kind of glad almost that we didn't know that, because that would have been I don't know how we would have figure that out.
I don't know either. I probably would have made the number green instead of the car or the driver. So looking at the speeds here, Finney, about 180 at the end of the backstretch, just under. When we get to the corners, all the way to the floor, even in the slip conditions. A little bit of a lift there in the center.
Just a little bit of lift, and that's just due to how old and how slippery the surface is tonight. As you see, nearly gray. I'm actually Atlanta really due for a repave, I think, next out of all the tracks. But across the line, Mark Emerson comes in, will be first for now. And as other guys are completing the laps, such as Yusuf Ghali, Adam Cabot, I see out there as well. And we'll see where they stack up.
Yusuf Ghali in this one car. Missed a bunch of races in the middle of the season, but he has come back with a vengeance. He's been competitive every single week. I had issues last week at Rockingham. Adam Cabot as well has also joined that. Corey Silva's number 94.
Yeah.
He jumps to the top of the board right now with a 31.047.
Yeah, definitely I think was a week to forget for Silva's first start in Outsiders Racing at Rockingham. I think was hoping for a little bit better. So far, looking pretty good as actually Emerson completes his second lap and will beat Corey Silva.
Evan Black in this 92, also on the same team as Corey Silva. Black was actually running okay, and we don't know why he pulled off last week, but pulled off and ended his night there. He runs 5th quick, Christopher P6, and I don't think we've seen any of our championship drivers take to the racetrack just yet, except Elliot Butler is up at full speed. He should be coming through turn 4, and this might be his running lap. We'll see as he comes across the line. Where's the 6th line up? 31.171, that's his first lap out. He'll run a second one.
Yeah, and this is really where it's going to count. Definitely first lap, not so much. It's all about building up momentum for the second lap. So this is really where it's going to be. And remember, he's got to try to beat that 13 in every single way that he can. And if he can get pulled, that's another bonus point for him. So we'll see where the 6 lines up.
So Cabot, Ghali, Silva, Emerson, they're all satisfied with the laps they ran. Right now it's Cabot at the top of the board. Yusuf Ghali back in second. Silva did better than Emerson in his second lap as well. Where does Butler run this time through? It's going to be a 31.076. It's going to be good enough for only 5th place. So he's probably going to drop down the order a little bit more. And is that 13 car out on track just yet? Yes, he is. Here he comes on through in that Grid Life sponsored number 13 Camry.
And now in turn 4, he will come to
Start lap there, yeah. We got Eli's first win at ISM Raceway. Had a lot of controversy around it. After I believe it was it Elliot Butler that he ran into? He spun somebody out. I think it was Butler back at ISM Raceway. I'm pretty sure. I have to think back. It's been a long time.
It was a long time.
But that's where he won his first race. His other race victory was at the Daytona Road Course a few weeks back. And that surprised everybody.
Yeah.
I think we walked in there expecting Jeff Wright to just dominate that race. He had some hardware issues, and a lot of other good drivers had issues there as well. Eli Hinton goes 5th quick on his first lap. We'll see how he does on his second, but Elliot Butler's already down to 8th.
Yeah, Butler down to 8, and still has a chance of dropping. A lot of fast guys still yet to put their times down. So still waiting on a few more.
So the other driver I'm watching, I mentioned him in practice, Alec Martinez in the 18. Remember back to Las Vegas, we had pretty hot temperatures there. He was mighty quick. Also back at Kansas,
Yeah.
He won that race. He probably should have won Las Vegas. I say that 18 car is the one to watch to get into victory lane tonight.
Yep, and Hinton across the line with his second lap will be on pole
Wow.
by 33 thousandths of a second over Adam Cabot.
So a 30.792 for Eli Hinton. He goes quick. Jeremy Miller on track, so is Angelo Ronis. Eric Hutton still has yet to go in his number 88. He'll be competitive for that top spot, as well as Joshua Banks in that number 36.
And we'll see where Ronis ends up. And Martinez, more curiously, Martinez almost gets pole, but misses it by 2 thousandths of a second. How about this? How about the young guys, Eli Hinton and Alec Martinez, first and second?
So how about this? I would have thought the first lap would have been quicker. So it seems like the tires actually take a lap to really get into their ideal temperature range. I think after that we'll start to see drop-off.
Yeah, we'll definitely start to see the drop-off, and also, too, again, with this package, it just makes it so much more important for that second lap to build up the momentum to get to the line. And Stouffer doesn't look like, I believe, will run his second lap. Yeah, I don't think he'll run his second lap, so will unfortunately be in 15th.
So the field gridding for 140 laps run at Atlanta Motor Speedway to round out the Outsider Racing League season. The next season starts up in a few weeks, actually.
Yeah, they start really.
They don't have a lot of downtime.
Yeah, I think it's only 3 weeks between the season, and we're starting up immediately back again.
Well, they don't play around, but their next season, really, really interesting. They have Silverstone on the schedule, Watkins Glen's on the schedule, some more road racing, and they have some other fun tracks coming up as well as I think they're starting their race at their season at Daytona. I know Fuel in a couple weeks. They start on August 13th, I think. I believe that's the right date.
Yeah, and
they start at Michigan.
Michigan, yep.
So that's going to be a fun one. So a couple leagues beginning their season again. Scars Ferrari Challenge restarts on Thursday this week. As we head down to the racetrack to get ready to go racing for 140 laps. Let's take a look at your starting lineup on the front row. Angelo, did Ronas sneak in there at the last second?
I think he did.
Wow.
I didn't see his time.
I didn't see it either, but he goes quickest.
Yeah.
Wow, the 29 going to be on pole.
How about Veronis, too? We're a great way to cap off the season for him. Hasn't been the strongest car out there, but has definitely, on a few tracks, definitely peaked up there. And so far, it looks like he's going to be starting on pole.
Yusuf Ghali in 5th, Corey Silva 6th. That's your row number 3. Martin Sproul. This guy is talented.
Yep.
Moving over to Boss Motorsports, I believe, next season, or maybe it's Dark Smoke. One of those.
No, Boss.
Boss.
Yeah.
This is only his 4th start.
Yeah.
And he's finished, I believe, top 10 in all of them. He's been really, really good. So keep an eye on that 19 as well.
And he's been good at pretty much, I think, in the last few weeks, he's been to almost every single type of track you can imagine. And he's been good at all of them, so he's definitely going to be a threat for next season. Running the full schedule, and he's definitely going to be a championship contender, so I'll be interested to see how he pairs up. And also what I noticed, too, is that Ronas getting pole there at the last second, that was big, because Eli Hinton would have gotten a bonus point for pole, and it would have made the gap 14 before we even took the green flag. So that's actually big for Elliot. That was a big break there.
Joshua Banks starting all the way back in 18th place. We know he's always a competitor and he's always good enough to win, but he's going to be starting pretty deep in the field. But again, it's a relatively long race, an hour and 12 minutes if we go green. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So hoping and praying these guys go nice and green as the field rolls off for their pace lap.
Yeah, Las Vegas is anything to go by. These guys should be a great race to look forward to.
They really embrace the racing in the hot weather. They love sliding these cars around. And they're capable of doing it. And we saw in Las Vegas. Eric Hutton didn't take the grid, neither did David Mott Jr. in the 41. So the 88 going to hang out there for now. As we roll onto the back straightaway. Predictions for the race, Finney, and I got my money on that 18 of Alec Martinez, but predictions for the championship as well.
I think predictions for the championship, I think you'd be hard-pressed. Sorry, Elliot, but I mean, with a 13-point advantage, that's a really big point deficit. And again, if Eli makes a mistake, it immediately shifts into the 6's favor. But I don't know, Elliot just doesn't seem to be fastest here. It definitely has some speed, but I think with the 13 starting in the front row, I mean, how do you not?
Taking a look at our conditions, 122 degrees, Finney, and hot, slick, and we're going around Atlanta Motor Speedway, a very, very fast and fun racetrack. 140 laps. Eli Hinton, Elliot Butler going for the championship. Everyone else trying to get themselves a victory before the season is out. The field's going to roll out of turn 4. The starter's going to have that green flag in hand. And Alec Martinez is going to be starting in the second row alongside Eli Hinton's going to be in the front row alongside the 29 of Ronas as we're going to get the green flag. Green flag flies racing for the season finale at Atlanta.
And a great start for Ronas. Not so much for Eli Hinton. He's immediately getting swamped by Alec Martinez and Adam Cabot in turn 1.
Alec Martinez down to the inside of that 13, side by side, through turns 1 and 2, onto the back straightaway for the first time. Everyone trying to find room to race. It's slick, it's slidey. Martinez goes to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to be inside Ronas down into turn 3.
Eli Hinton already being put on the back foot, trying to get his footing back as Ronas goes to the outside. It opens up. Alec Martinez is going to take the lead here on lap 1.
Bruce Boyer off the pace down the back straightaway, one of those Dash for Cash drivers, so not a great start for him as they come around turn number 4. Alec Martinez leads the first lap, side by side for second. Ronas trying to hang on.
Yeah, everyone's still in a big pack drafting on one another. We'll definitely see this for quite a few laps, and then slowly it'll taper off, and everyone will go on their own for single file. But meanwhile, Ronas loose off the nose of 13.
No. The 29 13 gets turned.
Hinton spinning down.
And into the fence.
Oh, no.
That just changed the entire championship picture, and on
Where
lap number 2.
Where is Elliot Butler?
Butler made it through, but he has some damage as well.
Oh, he's fine. He's only got some minor damage to his right side of his car. Meanwhile, Hinton, major damage off his nose and also to the rear of his car. So, wow.
Already
on lap 2.
Carnage on lap number 2. Dramatic moment here to start off the season finale with a big multi-car wreck out of turn number 2. Let's go back and take a look. It actually started, I believe, around the 29 of Angelo Ronas. I'm not exactly sure how this starts. I think the 13 got in the back of the opinion. This is just pushing too early.
I don't know if he actually I think it was loose before the 13 even got to him. See, watch here. He makes a little bit of wiggle, goes up the hill, starts coming down, gets loose.
he was out of control already.
Yeah.
Over the top, the 19 of Sproul. The 29 is up on his lid. Corey Silva came to a stop. Did damage to his race car. We'll watch him on board this vehicle. Look at this. Chambliss involved. He's a Dash for Cash driver. Martin Sproul involved. The 15 of Alex Bell, another Dash for Cash driver. That was the majority of the field there.
Yeah, it definitely was. And we can get a look at Hinton to see what happened. Because he almost made it through there. It looked like for a second he was going to get through scot-free. You see that damage off the nose, and then just the 22 Chambliss just clipped him around, went into Mark Emerson, into the inside wall.
Oh, the 9 car of Austin Carpe, he got torn up as well in that, but that's lap number 2, Finian. That's not the lap you want to get torn up on, especially when you're going for a championship.
Yeah, I know. And Hinton did absolutely nothing wrong with his riding in behind Ronas, just in there for the ride, was in a good position. And disaster struck right in front of him. There was absolutely nothing he can do.
15 of Alex Bell, he's completely torn up. And already a couple retirements. Angelo Ronas is one of them. But Eli Hinton, remember last week at Rockingham, he got torn up in a bunch of incidents, but he kept rolling. But I'm not liking the look of this damage repair. They ripped the back of that car off. The aerodynamics on that car destroyed.
Yeah.
The question is, he's got to stay within, how many positions? 13? 12 of the 6?
It depends on where it is in the points, because the way the points are. But, I mean, he just needs to be within 13 points at the end of the night. We'll try to keep track of it as the night goes on. But, yeah, in 2 laps, the entire championship just flipped on its head here.
If you take a look at the ticker, Finian,
Yeah.
there is only 2 drivers in the chase in the top 15 spots.
And only one of the top 10, and barely, because Emerson is in 10th.
Yeah. So, dramatic moment here in the start of the race. We knew the track was going to be slick, but Ronas was the pole sitter. I don't think we expected him specifically to be out of control. I mean, that was the driver that we know is very talented.
I think that was just guys, underestimating how slick the track is. It might have also had to do a little bit just with the aero in the pack. I think Ronas might have lost just a little bit more air to one of the parts of his car is just sending him around. So unfortunately,
Eli Hinton is a lap down, and he's not the first car 1 lap down. So he's already starting down from where he should have been. So this is going to be a fight to survive the rest of the night.
And it's unfortunate too, because he's going to just be on damage control for the next 135 laps. And we don't know how his car is. I don't think he knows how what his car can truly do once we get the green flag. But again, the big thing is going to be making sure that he doesn't have a lot of engine damage, which he probably might, considering the state of that.
It looks like
nose.
he might.
Yeah.
I mean,
because these cars only have 550 horsepower with this package, so losing any of that is big.
Question is, can he keep this car running? Because if he can keep it running for the rest of the race, there will be more accidents.
Yeah.
We will have more torn up races.
If he blows up, I think it's going to be game over for that 13. There's a lot of good drivers who've taken out in that wreck, and Butler was able to make it through more or less without any damage.
Alec Martinez sitting pretty still in 3rd, but Cabot and Yusuf Dowley taking the top spot. Chris Stouffer up to 4th, and he's actually one of the Dash for Cash drivers.
Yeah, I know. He actually started pretty far back. Oh, yeah, he started back in, I think, 15th. So we had him, yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah, so he moved up quite a few spots in that wreck. I think a lot of guys just coming through. And look at his car, too, completely undamaged. So far is the leading Dash for Cash driver. Yeah, leading Dash for Cash driver as of now. I'm sure he's going to be enjoying that. But remember, he has to win the race under green conditions. So we'll see if this 5 can do anything.
Lights are off in the pace car. Going to try this again, Finian. This changed the whole championship picture. It's all survival now. Now, here's what Eli Hinton has to hope. If he has radiator damage and that engine explodes, that's it.
Yeah.
He's got to limp it along. You know, if a certain number of cars drop out of the race, he'll be safe no matter what.
Yeah.
But he's got to get to that point first.
Yeah, and speaking of cars dropping out of the race, so far it looks like we lost the 94 of Corey Silva and the 29, of course, of Angelo Ronas. Ronas with some major damage to his car. I doubt we're going to see him back on the track. So 19 cars remain. Eli Hinton back in 18th position. So it's going to be a very tough hill to climb. Meanwhile, Elliot Butler in 13th.
What about my voice? We were at Watkins Glen today for the Xfinity Series race, and I lost most of my voice. So if I get a little raspy, that is why. It was a great race today, and as much as I'm not an Austin Cindric fan, congrats on his first victory. It was hard fought with AJ Allmendinger, and it was an entertaining race for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was a fantastic race. That was my first, I guess, NASCAR. Just actually see the finish of this K&N race got rained out.
All right, fuel going on turn 4. Let's try it again. Cabot, Gali, Martinez, Stouffer, Black, your top 5. Actually, Jimmy Miller is your 5th place car. Pace car pulls off. Green flag back in the air. Let's try it again.
A great start for Cabot, not so much for Yusuf Gali on the outside as they all race off into turn 1. Alec Martinez is going to be trying to take his lead back that he was fighting for when we were green before.
92 of Evan Black drops to the inside lane behind Miller. He's got Joshua Banks, who started 18th. Banks is up to 7th already.
Yeah, he's definitely made a lot of progress, and you see there in the background.
Jostle for the lead. The 18 got in the back of the 77, gave him a boot, and took a look for the lead. Couldn't do it, though, as Miller slides up in turn 3.
Everyone is kind of organizing themselves here. Whoa, Martinez already to the white line. He goes trying to take the lead away from Cabot. Cabot with a great run off of turn 4 will maintain that lead.
I have to say I'm a little bit surprised at how this track is racing. I thought we'd see the cars spread out a lot quicker. This is looking more like Charlotte than Kansas and Vegas.
Oh boy, just saw Evan Black with a big wiggle off of turn 2, similar to what happened to Rona. So I think these guys gotta be just a little bit more careful, especially coming off of the turns, considering how fast they're going.
8 laps in already, the 18 to the inside. That's the one of Gali on the outside trying to take your position away. And I'm really curious to see how the outside lane's going to fare in this race, because I think the bottom would probably be better until the tires start to wear out, and then the high side might be the place to be.
We'll definitely see. We've seen the outside lane be the better line, but not so much at the start. But Gali getting a great run off the corner to get outside of Martinez.
Great battle for second, and now for the lead. Cabot tries to defend, but the 18 of Martinez all over his rear bumper. Martinez almost down below that white line in turns 3 and 4. He's going to have a look on the front straight again for the top spot. Here comes that Monster Energy Camaro to the inside of Cabot.
To the inside he goes. Martinez really hasn't been able to do anything. Cabot's just, I think that outside lane has already started to come into its own very early on in his run. And how about the 36, Joshua Banks, lurking in there in the picture, has moved his way all the way to the top positions, and he wants to fight for the lead.
Yeah, Banks is looking dangerous. I mentioned he started 18th, restarted 7th, 8th, that area. He's already got himself up into 4th and looking for 3rd on the back of Gali, so he's going to be one to watch as Martinez goes for that top spot at turn 4.
Back to the inside, he'll actually lead this lap at the line. Still Cabot there, mounting pressure, and Gali just kind of, I think, he doesn't know where to go.
Corey Silva got his car back running 3 laps down, though. Eli Hinton sits 19th. It's the second car 1 lap down.
Yeah, and he's way off the pace, too. That car's only been able to hit about 162, so he's definitely struggling for some top-end speed.
Meanwhile, his competitor in the championship, Elliot Butler, running 12th right now. Elliot's only goal right now is to survive and finish as far ahead of that 13 as he can. Meanwhile, Chris Stouffer to the inside of Jeremy Miller, and right behind them, Mark Emerson. But for a second, we have a change of position, and it looks like Gali and Cabot going to fight side by side for 1 and 2.
Yeah, Gali trying to get clear of Cabot. He'll do exactly that off of turn 2, barely. As everyone tries to go, and there's Gali now pinging to the inside of Martinez.
Yeah, Gali actually got a shove from the 77, gave him a big enough run to get alongside that 18. Side by side through 3 and 4 goes the 1 of Gali, and ooh, Hinton got really close to that fence out of turn 4. Riding on board now with Evan Black as they come to the front straight.
Yeah, now, really with this package, where do you go? Everyone all nose to tail, not too much movement. How about Jeremy Miller hanging in there in 6? Hasn't moved since the restart, hasn't lost any positions.
Side by side still for that top spot. For the lead here, lap number 13. We got a long way to go, but drivers fighting like it's the last lap.
Yeah, actually, I mean, they're doing a great job, all things considered, giving each other room to correct, especially considering the loose conditions we saw some drivers fighting earlier. And it looks like it's starting to they're starting to sort themselves out just a little bit.
A little bit of action around Jeremy Miller there in the 30. That's Evan Black on the outside. Chris Stouffer trailing. And still a fight for second, Gali and Cabot. I don't think they're quite done, but the 5 car way up in the fence. He's scraping the wall at turn 2.
Yeah, he had a big wiggle, chased it up the hill, and scraped just a little bit off the wall. He should be fine, though.
For 3rd place, Cabot and Banks side by side. Banks is coming and quickest.
And Banks is really taking no prisoners. He's just been on a move to the front, just been trying to pick up people where he can. To the inside of the Adam Cabot, he'll go. I think he should be able to get the spot here on the straightaway, and he does.
14 laps complete, and almost a shove and a push there from the 77 to the back of the 36, but Cabot runs way wide in 1 and 2. That's going to bring Evan Black to the inside. Not quite clear, though. That got tight.
Whoa.
And they're going to battle off turn 2, a slip and a slide from the 92.
Yeah, Black tried to clear him there, but got a little bit loose doing so, and that lost him some momentum down the straightaway. Cabot's just going to take it around the outside.
Austin Carpe bringing his car to the garage area. His night, it looks like it might be done. We'll head back to the lead for now.
Yeah, that's actually crucial, though. That's another position for Eli Hinton, who moves up to the 18th. But Eli actually in danger. We can try to find where Eli is on the track. As the leaders are in turn 1, he's just exiting turn 2, so he's in danger of going another lap down.
Yeah, this is not looking good for the 13, and I don't think that top speed's getting any better. There is the field. They are chasing down the 13 of Eli Hinton. Once you get 2 laps down, it's almost impossible to get back to the lead lap.
Yeah, I guess silver lining for the 13, though, he is the first lap car. So that will definitely change as this night goes on. It looks like guys are starting to get spread out here, so we're looking at a potential green flag run here.
Chris Stouffer and Jeremy Miller fighting side by side. That's for 6th place. Ooh, they almost had a touch on the quarter panel down into turn 1. The 5 car's been running that outside lane, got in the fence, and look at Evan Black up the middle of almost a 3 wide situation there for a moment behind Cabot.
Yeah, and everyone's starting to get single file and getting sort of along in the background. I see Elliot Butler trying to fight for position with Eddie Trejo.
And this would be for 11th place, and Butler moving forward. He's got Bruce Boyer right behind him, though. Well, other than the slowdown on lap 2, it's been a pretty clean and green race so far. And I think once people get into the run, they're going to be better off. Once you get towards the end of it, though, I think the tires are going to make this very, very sketchy.
Yeah, I think that's probably the unknown, because definitely these guys have quite a bit of practice running around each other, but I think not a lot of guys get to practice the runs, and especially when they're in traffic, too, because that's a big unaccounted factor. You're going to wear yourself being behind someone longer, so the tires are going to get, I think, looser than most people expect.
Cabot on the outside of Black. This is a battle for 4th. And multiple grooves already appearing here relatively early in the race. We saw this at Rockingham last week. But with this new package, it's almost eliminated multi-groove racing at some of the bigger racetracks. And you see right ahead of the leaders, Finney and Eli Hinton. And he's about to get lapped again.
Yeah, this is going to be really unfortunate for him. Although he's still in a spot to win the championship the way everyone's placed out so far.
And Joshua Banks has worked his way into 2nd place and going for the lead. Last time by, he was just about a touch slower than our leader, Alec Martinez. And I can work around Eli Hinton, who's going to go 2 laps down.
Just out of turn 2, there you see Martinez going to roll on the inside.
Cabot, he saved it somehow. Oh, he's not out of the woods
Barely
yet.
Saved it.
Wow, that was close.
Let's see if we can get a replay of that.
There might have been some contact with Evan Black in the 92. And I think he slipped up off the bottom here. Chased it up the hill. Oh, yeah, big time. Oh, the 92 was also loose. They got loose together. Great save by the 77.
Yeah, he was dead sideways there, but kept it going straight. Unfortunately, he's going to lose quite a bit of track position, but I think... Whoa! Oh, that was a replay.
Still. This is the first time Finney and I have been back together.
Oh,
crash!
There's a wreck.
No! And this time it's a 70 of Matt White, and it's a big impact for him out of turn 2. As we coming back from those replays of the 77, looks like it's mostly a single car incident, but some pretty heavy damage to the right side of that car.
Yeah, and to the rear too, he's missing his entire spoiler, and back into that car.
Let's go back and find out what happened to the 70.
Oh, just got loose.
Just got loose. Oh, and that got the 5 of Christopher involved. And wow, William Troy did a good job missing that. But just got all sorts of sideways spinning. Easy to do that with. Ooh, big tank slapper into the fence.
Happened right in front of Eddie Trejo and Elliot Butler. They were able to avoid the mess.
Everything's all calm, cool, and collected. Then all of a sudden you see the car snap.
Yeah, that was instantaneous too. You looked fine until the exit, and then it just snapped. I think when you try to correct.
Look from on board William Troy's 87 machine. Ooh, he almost committed to that. He was going to be in it whether he wanted to or not. As the field heads down to pit lane, pit stop. I think tires and fuel the way to go here.
Oh, absolutely. I think most of these guys are not going to really play around with any strategy, at least at this point. Maybe towards the end of it, we might see some T-tire stuff. I think right now, just take 4 tires and get out of there. Also of note, too, Eli Hinton was a free pass recipient. However, he'll only get 1 of the laps back because he just went 2 laps down right before that caution came out.
This is not the way he wanted to start his night. Right now, if the race were to finish where it is, he'd probably still win the championship. So he's got to stay in it, keep his head in the game, but keep that motor running. Don't abuse it. Don't hit anything. Fix it when you can. Because if that engine expires and the 6 car is a decent race, it's over.
Yeah, I'm actually curious, too, if Matt White's going to be able to get back out there before Hinton gets him, because that might be another position for Hinton. But out of pit road, it's going to be Martinez, Banks, Miller, Evan Black, Joseph Gali are top 5 off pit road. However, Alex Bell has stayed out on the track.
I think we'll see him hit pit lane once he leads a lap. I don't think anyone would be unwise enough to stay on the track with old tires at Atlanta.
Well, we'll see.
Alex Bell's a smart guy. I don't think he'd do this.
I've seen crazier things, but
that's also true.
There he comes down. So just going to lead a lap, and Alex will make the trip on pit road. I'll hand the lead back to the 18 of Alec Martinez.
Field rolling through front straightaway now. And this will be 2 laps of the green. I actually would like to talk to Elliot Martinez. We can find him. Vincent Motorsports will bring in the 18 of Martinez. We'll talk to him real quick. Hey, Alec Martinez, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
Yes, we got you.
Alec, so far so good for you in that number 18 Monster Energy Camaro. Kind of a scary moment there in the opening laps. How you feeling right now out there with the racetrack the way it is?
I'm feeling good. I like it's nice, slick. It's the way I really like driving these. Kind of wish these weren't 550 horsepower, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. And we've been having fun. Just need to hold off Banks. He's looking pretty fast here. And probably the 77, he's looking really fast here too. He just stayed on older tires. Not sure how that's going to affect him.
It seems like you always run really, really well at hot racetracks, like Kansas back earlier in the season where you won, and at Las Vegas Motor Speedway a few weeks back where you should have won. What makes you so good, and why do you prefer racetrack hot?
Honestly, I don't know what makes me good at them. I don't know on that one, but I think why I prefer them is just I like where you have to drive the car a little bit more and where you have to have some throttle control. I mean, this usually, I know we're usually flat out on some of the mile and a half, but on this, with the setup and with the weather that we have, we're having to put a little throttle control, and that's what I like doing, putting that little extra where you have to lift off the throttle just and, you know, blip it a little bit to kind of steer the car in a way.
All right, well, we're going to send you back to your team channel. Good luck out there, and we'll let you get back to work.
Cool, thank you.
Points right now, Finian. Eli up by 3 points.
Yeah, that's with Elliot Butler in 8th. The only way he can actually, again, just purely off of just the points at the end of the race, the only way that he could overtake the 13 is if he finishes in 5th. So it's going to be a tall order. That's definitely not a light. And especially as more and more cars we expect to drop out. Actually, yeah, Hinton went up to 17th now, so I think we'd have to finish, I think, even 4th to overtake that 13. So he's got to still finish high.
Well, he's probably going to lose positions back to Matt White as well. But he does, yeah, Elliot Butler still has work to do. Not out of the woods yet, but it did make it a lot closer. Field rolling out of turn number 4. We're going to go back green now after our second caution of the night. Slow to place in lap number 21. Ace cars off. Martinez, Joshua Banks sharing the front row. Green flag back in the air.
A great start for the 18. Even Jeremy Miller, too, who out Jeremy in the 30. We haven't really talked a lot about him. He just got on for second. Banks cleared down in front of Joseph Gali as they all race off in turn 1.
Yeah, Jeremy Miller's had a pretty quiet season. Hasn't really been a contender to win races, but man, is he improved later in the season, and he has been really good at the hot racetracks as well.
And here he comes attacking for the lead on the outside of Alex Martinez. I think it's a little bit too early for that, and I think that's just opened the door for Joshua Banks on the inside.
It's going to put him in a bad spot, maybe 3 wide out of turn 4. Really tight moment there as Evan Black backs out of that. Across the line, it's going to be Martinez, Banks, Gali, Miller, Black, the top 5, but Black goes in for 4th down into turn 1 as Gali looks aggressive on the back of Banks.
Yeah, but Banks going to shut the door right in front of the 1, and Gali a little bit loose off of turn 2. He's going to save it.
Slid down the banking about 4 lanes and somehow saved it. Here comes Banks for the top spot.
Yeah, Banks taking no prisoners to the inside. He goes up Alec Martinez. Martinez is going to try to pick that
he's going to slip down. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, they just give each other enough room to make it through the corner. And it'll be Banks at the line that'll lead that lap.
Down into turn 1 though, Martinez right on that quarter panel. He's going to carry the run around the outside lane. And as we continue to race, that outside lane is going to get better and better and better, but dead even on the back straight.
Oh boy, a little bit loose off the corner. Banks almost got into Martinez. They've been giving each other absolutely no room as they race off down towards turn number 3. And Gali and Black stuck in behind. Nowhere for those 2 guys to go.
There's only 2 guys in this entire field that care about point standings right now. Everybody else, they're just going for that checkered flag, and they don't care what happens to the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean, really, the guys in the points not really anywhere near the front. Butler falling back to 10th on the restart, and Eli Hinton off the pace in 17th.
Still side by side for that top spot. Martinez probably will prevail if they stay side by side for the next lap or 2. As that inside gets tighter and tighter, and the outside gets very more momentum.
Yeah, through the corner they go. Martinez still using that outside to his advantage. Banks can't really do much as he slides up the corner.
Remember a couple weeks ago at Gateway, Banks got into Eli Hinton and sent him back in field once. So Banks definitely races hard. especially in races where he's at the top of the board. So he's looking for the inside of 18, still alongside. They've been side by side for lap after lap after lap. As much as drivers hate this package, it does make for some pretty close racing.
Yeah, especially in the right conditions too. Some great racing as Martinez hits the wall entering turn 3. He's going to get a little bit sideways too. Banks is going to back off. And the 18 is going to be cleared just for a moment.
One car slipped out of turn 4 as well. Here comes Mark Emerson peeking into the picture in 5th behind the screen.
Yeah, actually, even more so, looks like Butler's back on a climb up as he goes to the, trying to look to the inside of a car behind him.
These guys are giving each other less and less space as we move on in this run.
Ooh, and speaking of which, behind them, Black and Golly going at it as well for third place.
2 by 2 by 1 by 2 down into turn 3, side by side for that top spot.
Now it's 2 by 2 by 2 by. No, is that but behind Jeremy Miller is just going to narrowly clear in front of Mark Emerson. No, he doesn't. Those guys are now 3 wide. Cabot's going to take advantage.
Cabot gets by both of them. Still 3 wide for a moment. Emerson gets cleared down into turn 1. For first, though, I think Joshua Banks is going to prevail. Nicely done by that 36 after a multi-lap side-by-side battle.
Yeah, they're going to single file out for the first time since the restart.
Look who is creeping into the top 10. It's Elliot Butler.
Butler needs to make sure he makes some moves, get up there, get as many points as he can, especially bonus points too. You get a bonus point for leading at halfway, get a bonus point for leading the lap, and getting a bonus point for leading the most laps. So, as well as one for being the race winner. So a lot of other points at play that'll help this 6 in the fight.
We're about halfway to halfway. Lap 35 will be the quarter mark of this race. So Butler's still got time. He's up in the 9th now. It's Emerson has Boyer on his back number. How about Bruce Boyer at 14 showing up to race here tonight?
Yeah, Emerson doing well. It's been kind of off his game in the last few races lately, but here he is back in the showing that we more or less expecting. We'll see if he can move himself further up the running order.
That'll clip the grass on the front straight. We'll go back to the top spot just to check in on our leaders. Banks has it, but Martinez fighting back on the bottom.
And Martinez trying to get it back on the bottom. I just don't think he has the car, at least for now, to try to charge back on that 36. Oh, well, there's one guy that does. There's Goose Golly inside Alec Martinez trying to take away second.
Golly's been quick. Had some bad luck last week that took him out at Rockingham, but he's capable of winning races, and he looks like he's not going to back down tonight.
Yeah, definitely, I think the most consistent car up here in the front of the field hasn't really dropped out of the 3rd or 4th place in that GRD Toyota.
Joshua Banks leads this race, and you know what? He won at Dover a few weeks back. Hot racetrack there. So, just like Martinez, he seems like he excels when the racetrack is nice and toasty, and look what it is now. Hotter than when we started, 125 degrees in the air, and no wind. It's a pretty toasty day out there, and fans like me are getting sunburned right now.
Yeah, and it's clear skies, so don't expect much cloud cover to cool the track back down. There's not a cloud in sight, so it's going to remain hot, maybe even get hotter.
Running on board the gyro cam with Evan Black. He started 16th up to 4th. You can see the banking here in Atlanta. When this pavement was fresh, it was one of the fastest tracks in NASCAR. Some of the highest average speeds. Those have been dialed back quite a bit since those times, especially with the pavement wearing out, but it's still a fast, wild racetrack. High banks, some of the highest banking of any 1.5 mile track that it goes to.
And less known over the years for its high speed, but more so just how loose due to how old the surface is, and we've seen, even with all the downforce these cars have been given, guys still struggling with loose conditions, especially off of turn 2.
Ryan Chambliss was battling with Alex Bell back here. They were duking and diving out of turn 2 for a moment.
Yeah, a lot of both of them with severe damage to their nose. I think that's not really helping or doing them any favors.
Checking in with Eli Hinton, 18th place. He's the 3rd car 1 lap down. This is not looking good. I'm really worried about that engine making it to the end of the race.
Yeah, I think that's where he's trying to just have his fingers crossed, because he can still pick off some guys that don't end up finishing this race. I think he's going to go till the motor blows. And there's his main competitor, Elliot Butler, cutting through traffic. Bruce Boyer kind of slow off the back straightaway.
Let's try to find out. He was really loose out of turn 2. It's a big bobble there. Lost all momentum he had. So he'll drop back from 8th to 10th.
But Butler up into 7th, getting more spots. Now setting his sights on Mark Emerson up ahead. And looking at the battle between Eddie Trejo and Jeremy Miller now.
Trejo won his first virtual racing league race at Gateway a few weeks back. Lots of attrition at that race. No no fault of it to anyone other than my own, but won a race there and has certainly been picking up. He's one of those guys that will top 10 to death. You don't talk about it, you don't see him, but he's quietly getting himself in the picture. He's not in the chase, but he had a decent season overall.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it too, yeah, seven top 10s, no top 5, but again, just that consistency that keeps him in there.
Second place battle, Martinez and Gali just got a points update. 2 points to the good, Finian. We're dropping back to 18. So right now, if Butler finishes 5th or better, it'll be a tiebreaker. He's got to still finish 4th to win overall.
Yeah, and that's really the key difference too. Because I mean, obviously Butler only needs 2 wins, but still, that's going to be another helping hand to Eli Hinton, who is looking to go 2 laps down now.
Cabot and Black fighting hard for 4th place at the moment. Black on the outside, Cabot with that Lawn Tech number 77 Camaro to the inside lane.
Yeah, Cabot running really well earlier until he had a little bit of a spin off of turn 2 that put him back on the pack, but here he is back up again. Will clear the 92 and take 4th place away.
Ollie's been all over Martinez, but these two are pretty evenly matched, and Banks hasn't gotten away. Only 0.2 of a second up the road. Slip by the 18 out of turn 4.
Whoa, a little bit more of a slip, and here comes Gully with a big run to the inside.
100 laps to go here at Atlanta. Lap 41 over 42, so 99 laps to go. Well, we're getting this race done. We've only had 2 yellows so far in the first 42 laps as Gali and Martinez continue to fight.
Yeah, I think Martinez has really been struggling to get those runs off the corner. As you see, Banks clear the 13 and officially go 2 laps down.
Oh, tight squeeze in turn 3.
Yeah, and Martinez had to back off of that. Gali will take 2nd place away.
Eli Hinton being a bit more in the way, but desperately trying to stay as close as he can to these leaders.
Yeah, I think, and you can see it there. He's not trying to hold these guys up. He's just trying to get as much of a draft off of some guys to kind of keep him in this, because that engine's not doing him any favors.
It may be aero, which might be fine, but it's more likely that it's engine damage, and that is a ticking time bomb. Lap 43 of 140. We are 20 laps into the run. What do you think about a SimTV sound surge here, Finian?
I think that's perfect.
Crash on the front straightaway. Jeremy Miller in the wall out of turn 4. I think Clifton Cockrell might have been involved as well. No caution for that incident, but dramatic moment for the driver of the number 30. His race was going so well, it changed so quickly.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of more curious what happened to the 16 of Kako, because his car looks pretty much fine, but it was pretty slow. Oh,
they got together here. Here's a look.
Yeah, didn't even notice that. So yeah, off of turn 4, you'll see the 30 just get a little bit loose. Tries to correct. It hits the 16 and Kako goes for a wild ride through the grass.
All right, checking back in with our leaders, though. Nothing's changed up there other than Yusuf Ghali getting around Martinez. Martinez under attack from Adam Cabot now. And also an update on the 92 of Evan Black. Looks like he might have lost connection.
Oh, yeah, I was noticing.
And Martin Splau as well. These are free positions for that 13.
Yeah, and that's going to be big, too, because I was wondering why Butler was up in the 6th, because he was in 7th running previously. And yeah, so hopefully Black and Sprout can get their stuff going back. But yeah, that's 2 free spots for Eli Hinton.
That 50 of 140 complete, about 49 minutes worth of racing if we're going to go green to the end from here. Banks has been in control of this race, Finian, and we haven't really seen anybody be able to break away more than 2 tenths in front of the driver in second.
Yeah, and he's been very close up inside the top 4. These guys have not been able to get away with each other. So I think really where we're going to see this race heat up is strategy-wise. I think where these guys decide to pit to try to get an upper hand on one another.
These are cool cameras that Finian did for us. Spectator cams in the grandstands area.
Disclaimer, I did not make these.
Okay.
These are actually in there by default for iRacing, so.
Really?
Yeah. They're only at this track. I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay. Thanks for not taking them away. Third place, Cabot is catching Martinez. Martinez looks
Cabot
all sorts of sideways, but Martinez looks like he's struggling in the longer runs a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's, we always seen him be more aggressive on the initial start and restarts, and I think now we're starting to see him fall off the pace, but one guy who isn't falling off the pace is Ghali to the inside of Banks, and Banks is loose and cuts right in front of the one of Ghali. Ghali takes the advantage, goes to the outside.
Yusuf Ghali to the outside lane. He's going to go to the top spot for a moment, and he will clear not quite the 36. Banks fights back on the inside. He's going to drive up the racetrack in turn 4. He's already sideways fighting that wheel to the line. Who's going to leave this lap? It's going to be Ghali by a nose.
Wow, yeah.
Dead even on our time and score.
Yeah, that was really close run to the line there. It would have been awesome. That was the finish, but Banks going to continue to fight. Ghali going to back out just a little bit on the corner and will clear the number 1 car.
Lap car 70, Matt White in 15th place. And Ghali all the way back to that 35, taking liberties that 36 isn't going to jump on the binders. Right behind, battle for third. Martinez is going to get boxed in here potentially by that 77. Cabot gives him plenty of room to race. Respectful move there. And they'll both make it on through and still continue fighting for third.
Yeah, everyone making it on through. Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of action since these guys singled out for the most part. They're just kind of stuck in behind the liberties. We saw Ghali trying to get the pass done, but he can't. Just the way the package is.
Cloud of smoke, the puff, Hinton cockerel. Ooh, that damage wasn't there prior. This is a crash out of turn 2. Here's a look.
But these guys find each other again.
Oh,
they did.
Boy.
Oh, man.
Miller was able to save it. The 16 at Clifton Cockrell did not. Out of the outside wall, back to the safer barrier on the inside. Bam. Yeah, I don't think Cockrell is a Jeremy Miller fan. After this one.
I don't think both of them are fans of each other either. I think after that, I think both are going to be just a little bit annoying, making contact with each other twice.
They stay green. And again, another car that Eli Hinton's going to get a free pass on. And honestly, the attrition might win this 13th championship.
Yeah, and that's really just, never give up. Just try to make it out as much as you can. Again, I'm still not convinced that Hinton's going to make it to the checkered flag all the way, but it's made, I think, made it longer than most people, even the driver, might have thought.
Cabot way up the hill in turns 1 and 2, trying to find room to race.
Yeah, I think this is him just trying to get some clean air to the nose, not trying to be stuck in behind someone, because definitely see them off the corner when guys merge. They lose the air off the nose of their car and they get just a little bit loose.
What's painful for Butler is he's doing everything he can do. He's in 5th place right now, having a really good run, but Eli's in a great spot still.
I know, and I think really those two guys dropping Martin and Evan, that really helped out Eli. Is actually just past Cochran now, so Eli into 50.
Only 10 spots separate them on the racetrack, but that's not going to be enough. Butler really needs to get, right now, inside the podium if he wants to win this championship.
And I think really what Butler should be eyeing, I can imagine we're coming relatively close to the pit stop. I think Butler needs to try to eye getting those bonus points, because that could be all the difference at this point.
34 laps since our last pit stop. We're getting close to a pit window here, Finian, but can't make it to the end, not even close. It's a long race. So, undercut, going to be worth a lot. I think we're already 3 seconds off on better times.
Yeah, again, if I'm Butler, do not think about getting the race win. I mean, try if you can, but if anything, just look for those bonus points. Try to put yourself to lead at halfway, and I just at the very least lead a lap to get that 1 point. Oh, Emerson just a little bit loose off the corner. Looks like he's going to be able to save it.
Joshua Banks still holds on to the lead. Gali is still hounding him, and Alec Martinez has found another gear. Oh, the one car really tight out of 4. Martinez has found another gear. He's actually kind of re-catching the lead after he dropped off at the few laps. What about Elliot Butler's bonus points? If caution comes out, you stay out, sacrifice your track position to give yourself an extra point.
Honestly, considering the amount of damaged cars in this field, I probably would. Because everyone's going to be put back pretty much in a pack. Just get around some of the cars that have some damage, and you're pretty much back in the fight.
A 10th.5 separate leader Joshua Banks in second place. Yusuf Gali. Banks has won several races this season, but missed the chase. And he would have been a championship contender had he made it in.
Yeah, no, and then we always end up pointing to the, just the internet has been, I think, is the biggest Achilles heel for this 36. Has had some great finishes. Almost won a race, I believe, at Richmond. He was fighting with Jeff White. Ended up wrecking out of that, but other than that, has had some fantastic runs. So I think definitely he's going to be looking forward to next season, especially too. If he wins this race, he'll have the most wins of any driver this season. One of the talents in the field for sure.
Yusuf Gali, coming out of turn 4, got a big run. 36 slipped up, and Gali's going to take the fight back to him.
Ooh,
almost a push. He did hit him. There's some damage on the back of the 36.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he hit him. I'm not sure that was on purpose or not, but I think one just kind of show his presence here. Might also be just a little bit of frustration because there's not a whole lot you can do when you're stuck behind someone like this with the tires worn out.
A lot of throttle time, not a whole lot of brake. Actually, no brake. Probably just coasting a little bit. Gali loose out of 4. Martinez and Cabot has found this front group again, so it's a 4-car fight for the top spot. 60 laps in, closing in on the halfway mark here. Have you adjusted your opinions on who might win this race?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I think any one of these top 4 really they've not been able to get separated from each other at all. They're pretty much running nose to tail as close as you can. I think honestly that 36 looks to be the best, but I really think it's going to come to the strategy when these guys decide, contact!
The 87 of Troy spins in turn 4.
Cabot
Does he save it? Cabot was sideways. He does save it. And for the top spot, Banks and Gali continue to fight. Dramatic moment there as the leaders tangled. Bruce Boyer on and off pit lane. Maybe thought there might have been a yellow coming. But Gali takes the lead away. Martinez going to get around the outside of Banks now for second.
Wow, that was a dangerous moment there, and it looks like it's somewhat sorted out. Let's see if we can get a look at that.
Let's go back to turn 4 and look at from the car. The 87 and 36 got together, and the 77 just tried to avoid him, got really loose, but held on.
And almost made contact on the straightaway, too.
Great moment there. Cabot hits pit lane. Good timing for that.
I think he figured might as well come down to pit road. Recollect yourself and get back out there. So we'll see how does the rest of the field react.
Strategy plays here. Elliot Butler up to 4th with that pit stop by the 77.
Yeah, up into 4th place, but it's not entirely clear of the guy behind him. And here comes Yusuf Gali. He's going to follow in suit behind Cabot, and will come down on pit road.
Trying to keep that advantage. Martinez and Banks. What about the overcut strategy here? We got a long way to go. I think that's the way to go, personally.
I mean, again, it kind of comes down to how your car is handling, how you can, handle it yourself, and if you have pace by yourself as well. So we'll see if these guys feel confident. We've seen Martinez do the overcut before. I think he feels confident in his ability to pull it off. Same thing with Banks. So let's see what the two.
I don't think he's going to do it.
Nope.
He's coming. Here comes the 18.
Yep, and Banks will remain out there in the lead. He is hot into pit road.
Oh boy. That was fast. I think he made it though.
Yeah, I think he got it down. I think pace speed 55. But remember, Martinez got a speeding penalty at Las Vegas that pretty much took away any chance of him winning that race.
Gali had a. I didn't see him. The pit stop reported for him. That was strange.
Yeah.
A 46-second pit lane delta is really slow though. Look at everyone else's. 39.40. That seems off to me.
Yeah, that does seem off. I don't
And
know.
Adam Cabot was way ahead.
Yeah,
So he lost a straightaway there.
Yeah, so
Maybe he had a penalty that he had to wait for or something.
either penalty or just made a mistake. So not sure what
We
happened.
gotta go
to
back and
one.
look at that, I think. That's big enough that I think we should go back and see if maybe he missed his pit stall, potentially. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
look.
And into and just took a little bit off. Yeah, and it's really tricky. Annoyingly so, I would say, in some places, trying to get the pit stop to work, and there you
There
see him
it
go.
goes. Butler, Emerson now fighting for the top spot. They want a yellow right now. That
yeah.
would be amazing for Butler and Emerson. And they could get it with everyone entering and exiting pit lane. It's very
So-
easy to slip up.
Butler, there he goes. He will lead a lap. That's one extra bonus point through the 6.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Mark
I-
Emerson all over his rear bumper.
Yeah, and I think what Butler is trying to do right now, I think he's going to try to stay out there till he completes lap 75. Emerson, I don't know if he...
Ooh, they're getting dicey. Here goes Martinez chopping through the field.
Yeah, so there's Martinez clearing him. There's Mark Emerson. And he's going to work around the 6. I'm just going to surprise him with these guys are teammates, so...
Here comes Emerson down
Oh,
pit lane.
yep, so Emerson down the pit lane. Okay, so Butler going to remain out there. I'm curious about, can he make enough fuel for lap 75?
Let's see, taking a look at the lap since pit. That's a long way to go. Also checking in on Adam Cabot. He was the first of that front group to pit, and there is the lead, or what will cycle to be the lead. That's about 2 seconds worth.
Yeah, so that call worked out for, definitely worked out for the 77. We'll see how they all kind of reconverge on each other as this run goes on.
Miller hits pit lane as well, and everyone shuffling around in the pit sequence. How will this turn out? Butler comes in now from the top
Ooh.
spot.
Yeah, so Butler, I think that was probably as far as he can go. Alex Bell will follow in suit, and that should cycle everyone back out. So Adam Cabot will re-inherit the lead. That'll be Martinez, Boyer, Banks, Gollier, top 5 once they get sorted out.
Cabot and Martinez still separated by 2 seconds. Although Martinez is lapping about a tenth a lap quicker. And should be able to catch him within a few laps here.
Yeah, we saw the same thing play out at Las Vegas. Everyone pit at different intervals. They all kind of matched back up with each other and continued the fight on.
But a big gap back to Joshua Banks, too. There's Banks.
Yeah, that's actually, if you pull out the deltas, the lower deltas. Just pull this
Oh,
out.
thank you. I was just sure what you were referencing.
Yeah, no, a little bit slower, but nothing major. I think, honestly, it was just him pitting as late as he
Later,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Halfway bonus to Elliot Butler Finian. He got extra points for leading the halfway. So, that's what I'm told.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm an idiot. I can't count. I'm thinking it was lap 75. Yeah, it's lap 70.
I think someone corrected you, and I wasn't,
Yeah.
I wasn't paying
Oops.
attention. So.
Yep, sorry about that. Yeah.
That was,
long day
Gabra,
for us.
I believe.
Yeah,
That was-
long day for us.
Yeah,
so.
we were at Watkins Glen, or left for Watkins Glen at like 8 this morning, so we
I returned at like 9.
Yeah, we got here about a half an hour before we needed to be live, so our brains are fried. I'm sunburned all the hell again.
So okay, but yeah, so that's a big deal. So a halfway bonus point, so that's 2 bonus points to that 36. So that brings the deficit down to 11. That he needs to get on race points.
Let me get your calculator.
No, I think I can manage. I hope.
It's like addition and subtraction here. Adam Cabot leads, but only by 1 second. Martinez is reeling him in, and wow, last time by Martinez was 4 tenths quicker. That's a big gap in lap time there. And he's gonna take another big chunk out of it this time. 9 tenths in second back. That 18 is coming. Bruce Boyer sits third right now. And he
Yeah,
pitted 11 laps ago.
Yeah, he came in really early for his stuff, so he's just gonna be kind of slowly trickling back, but still decent, a pretty solid run. And is, if I believe, our highest running Dash for Cash driver. But again, has to win the race, so he'll be looking for that.
Adam Cabot started tonight's race in 4th place. He's been competitive all evening. It hasn't been without drama, though. A couple slips and slides, but he's used to doing that. Running first right now, but he's got the 18 of Alec Martinez chasing him down. The young kid, very controversial this season. Sometimes the actions off track speak louder than the ones on track, but has a victory under his belt back at Kansas Speedway earlier in the season. He's been mighty, mighty quick. So he should have been more of a contender. Missed the chase, although if he had just managed to be more consistent, he'd be better off this season.
So update for the points lead. It's Eli safe by 4 points. So, but the thing is, Butler, remember, he came in late, so he's just going to be tracking guys down. He's got a decent gap to Brian Chambliss, but one of the freshest tires in the field.
He's quicker than most of the drivers in front of him on the racetrack, but he's 5 seconds back from the next driver up the road, who's Brian Chambliss in 7th. Lap 75, which is what Finian thought was halfway. Good on there. For the top spot, though, here comes Martinez.
Yeah, but Martinez to the outside. I don't think this should be a big battle here. Martinez with significantly more pace than 77.
Side by side. And it should be a relatively easy pass. And now Martinez's only competition besides Cabot is Banks, 6 seconds back from this fight. So it's the 18's race to lose at this point.
They work past onto the front straightaway. Martinez will get around and will lead the next lap. So he's clear. I'm just curious, can he break away from the 77? I doubt that, but we'll see if Cabot can hang on.
Eli Hinton now 3 laps down. This is pretty hopeless to gain more spots on pace alone. He's going to have to hope for some more carnage if he wants to get anything farther than 15th.
Yeah, he at least, though, is safe of not falling further back from that, because every driver in behind him has retired. So only 15 cars left in this race. Fairly small car count compared to what we started. A lot of attrition this race.
There's your championship leaders as Butler blows on by that 13, but the points battle basically it dictates that 6 car needs to finish essentially 3rd or better and have this 13 car stay where he is. Essentially, that's kind of what we're dealing with. So for Hinton, it's damage control, but for the 6 car, he's got to push as hard as he can. Finding battles on the racetrack, not a whole lot going on. I mean, I think we're kind of in a long run situation. We've only had 2 cautions for 7 laps with 13 lead changes in 78 laps. It's pretty darn good for a 1.5 mile track.
Yeah, these guys have been going at it. That top 4, Martinez, Cabot, Golly, and Banks, they were going at it earlier, and then this run definitely separating them out. And it's funny too because they only really the difference in their pit stops is only by about a lap or so to each other. So, but they spread out quite a bit.
3 seconds a lap in terms of the delta between old tires and new.
And more importantly too, Martinez, as you can see there, has broken away from Cabot. So Cabot not able to keep up with the pace of the 18.
So working lap 79 of 140, and we want to update you on what's going on this week on SimTV while we have a little bit of a lull on the action. Tomorrow night, it's going to be Yinzer Truck Series action from Daytona 07, and then on Monday, it's going to be the Race Kings Cup Series from the same track. Martinez loose out of turn 2. And then we're going to move on to Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday is off day for us. Wednesday is Spec MX5 Sim Racing Challenge. That will be from Road America on the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel. Thursday, Scars Ferrari Challenge returns for their 4th season at 8:30 p.m. from Daytona's road course. Friday off. Saturday will be off next week, and then Sunday we'll be back with the Yinzer Truck Series once again. So that's coming up on SimTV this week. The return of Scars Ferrari Challenge and more 3-wide action as we roll through the month of August. Scary moment for Martinez a lap ago, Finian, but he's got that car running in the right direction. Meanwhile, for 5th place, Golly and Emerson. Golly trying to make up some spots, but I think Emerson's actually got fresher tires, does he not? Yes, by 5 laps.
Yeah, he's the one that passed Golly. It's Golly dropping down the order. Gone from bad to worse for that one car.
He's got pouring salt in the wounds, messing up a pit stop that you did early. So the undercut not working out great for the 1. Still a long way to go in this race. About 31 minutes of racing remaining if it goes green. And it has gone quite a bit green. Remember Las Vegas? I believe that was a caution-free race. We've only had 2 so far, and both of them were within the first 20 laps. We've been green for over 60 at this point.
Yeah, definitely gone green for quite a while, and we expected to stay that way with the relatively low amount of cars on the track, and everyone pretty spread out at this point in time. So, really, if anything were to come from a caution, it would just be from someone getting loose and spinning back up into the track. But so far, it looks like everyone's got their cars under control, at least for the most part.
So Bruce Boyer sitting in 5th place right now in that 14, and he's actually just gotten around. He was with Golly and setting his sights on Mark Emerson in that 22. And Bruce Boyer having a decent night.
Yeah, Boyer still hanging on, although he's just getting passed now by Yusuf Golly, and that 14 will drop another spot. But overall, I think that pit stop seemed to have helped him out, gave him quite a bit of track position, and he's just going to be right in behind Golly and might be able to hang on him.
Eli Hinton checking in. Last time by, his lap times were 33.5. And you know what? On old tires, he's kind of matching what the rest of the field is doing. However, take a look at his pits. He's been out for 15 laps, and it's only going to get slower from here. So he's losing a lot of time, especially when the rest of the field's on new tires. But he's not dropping off quite as much.
Yeah, it could definitely be a lot worse for that 13, but I mean, I guess it really can't get much worse than being the last car running on the track. But still, looking at the bigger picture, Elliot Butler only in 8th, has made some headway on Brian Chambliss, who's the next car ahead of him, but he's kind of stalled out. And actually, looking at the pace, he's kind of on pace with that 21, so just not been able to move forward.
Couple drivers in front of him that he should be able to catch over the course of the run. Golly and Boyer are going to continue to drop with their number of laps they have in their tires, but Butler's still got 3.3 to catch Brian Chambliss, and then another 6 seconds up to Bruce Boyer in that 14. No challenge up front though, Alec Martinez, and man is he good at these hot 1.5-mile racetracks. We talked about it a lot this season, but he should have more victories. He probably should have won Las Vegas, had a speeding penalty there. The only person that's going to beat this 18 tonight is himself.
Yeah, I think that's really the biggest thing. I mean, obviously, you know, he's young, he's only 13. Barely should even be in here, but has done a fantastic job. I mean, despite being so young, just a sheer amount of talent and raw pace out of it, out of his machine, and has definitely matured a lot over this season compared to last season. So he's definitely heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
As far as what he needs to do, and what a great way to finish off the season with a win.
Yeah, some drivers might say that his mouth is louder than his exhaust pipes, but he can back it up. You know, and whether or not the move next season to Sim Motorsports will be good for the kid. He's a talented race car driver, and I think he just needs to get that potential harnessed on a week-to-week basis because he can win races. There is your leader. There's Adam Cabot, 1.1 seconds back, and then it's 3.8 back to Joshua Banks, another 3.3 back to Mark Emerson, and then another 1.3 back to Yusuf Ghali. That's your top 5. Bruce Boyer running 6th right now. Field very spread out though, only 10 cars on the lead lap, and Eddie Trejo is sitting in 10th. He's about to go a lap down.
Yeah, so he's about, trying to see where, if you can go on board with Alec Martinez. So there's Hinton and Trejo further up, dismount entering turn 3.
We'll do this.
Oh yeah, I forgot, yeah,
Where are we left? There you go.
Actually, too, Elliot Butler not entirely far off from going a lap down. But 2/3 of the way there.
What we're going to do is we're going to swap. It's about, yeah, you're right, about 2/3 of the way down to be a lap down, and take a look lap since pit, we're about halfway through this run, maybe a bit more than that. So, potential that the 6 car could lose a lap here, that would be a really bad thing for his championship hopes. He, again, top 3 is really where he needs to finish.
Going off of the last restart, the last run that we had, I think these guys went about, what, how far did Butler go? 45?
46 laps, something
yeah,
like that.
so these guys can go about another 5 or so laps. This is when we're going to see the pit window definitely opening up, and guys will be making their final pit stops for this race.
What really helped Eli Hinton, though, is you take a look at the bottom of the ticker, all those drivers listed out, that saved that 13, because if he was running down in 21st right now, it'd be a very different story.
Yeah, and especially, too, again, Sproul and Black, I believe we just losing connection, both those guys at the same time, which is kind of weird to see, but yeah, those 2 guys losing connection and not being able to return, that was two free spots for Hinton that he probably wouldn't have gotten because those guys are running perfectly fine.
Certainly better than 13th's car is.
Yeah.
All right, well, this race is flying by. Working lap 92 of 140. Then we've had 2 cautions, 13 lead changes, but it's been Martinez out front for the last 20 or so. Cabot running 2nd, but continues to drop off the pace. The closest battle is this one for 5th, Yusuf Ghali, Bruce Boyer.
Both of them have just been dropping back at pretty much the same rate. They're running exactly the same lap times. But golly, that one mistake, he's paying the price for it up here. I'm sure he would love a caution to stack these guys back up, because you definitely know he has the pace to be up in front with the lead, but that mistake on pit road cost him a lot of time. He's 10 seconds back from Martinez.
Working lap 93, about 3/4 of the way through a fuel run. I think we'll go back to the sound storage, let you listen to the V8s again for a couple minutes of silence. Saw Bruce Boyer get pretty sideways out of turn 2, Finney. I think the tire's losing their grip later in the run.
Whoa,
oh, golly, that was mighty close.
Yeah, and he's definitely starting to struggle. I'm just kind of surprised you guys haven't come down to pit road just yet, but I think they're trying to get the most they can out of the tires. They see a slight spin for the one.
Yeah, almost looked like he unwound the steering a little too soon and kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
And pulled away. Alex Belletti, Trejo, they were getting ready to race here for a moment, but I have to say between them. Joshua Banks on pit lane, and can't go to the, actually, yes, you can go to the end from here pretty easily. So this is the money stop here, Finian, for Joshua Banks. In and out.
Yep,
and pit stop was a 14-1.
Yeah, now, so let's see what everyone else decides to do, especially our leaders. Will Martinez come in just to cover his bases here, or will he try to stay out further, kind of like what he did in the last run?
Dowlin Trejo fighting for 8th place. And Martinez continues to grow his lead out to 1.8 seconds. Martinez just wants this race to go green all the way to the end. He still have the best control of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, really no one could touch him. I would say maybe Banks, if he can get back up to him, will be a factor. But Cabot really hasn't been able to stick around with that 18. If anything, Cabot should, I would say, try to come in again. Try to come in early again, but then Martinez will just catch back up. And so Cabot's kind of in a hole here as far as strategy.
40 laps to go. Bruce Boyer hits pit lane in his number 14. He's going to get 4 tires and fuel to finish out his evening. Eli Hinton sits 4 laps down in that 15th spot, hoping and praying that Troy and White just want to give up and change the championship picture.
Yeah, because if anything, that'll make it a lot easier for the 13th. I mean, it's already hard as it is for Elliot Butler. From my math, he needs to finish in 4th to win the championship at the rate this is going. He's currently up in 6th, but that's the middle, actually 5th now, as we're in the middle of a pit cycle.
Emerson hits pit lane from 4th spot in the 22. You see Yusuf Ghali coming down as well. He wants 4 tires, and he made it in his box that time, nice and clean as well. Adam Cabot from 2nd. Whoa! That was dramatic.
That was indeed dramatic. Well, was it too fast? My question?
I think he was okay on speed. That might have been bad, though. He comes into his box.
Yeah, let's see if they actually hold him up. That'll be the true indicator if he got a penalty or not.
6 seconds through his stop. 10 seconds. Will he stay to serve it? Martinez hits pit lane.
Nope,
No.
and he's good.
Got away with it. So the leader comes down pit lane. And he had a 1.8 second lead. He's going to give up all that and some. So the 77 should cycle out to be the top spot. Where is the 6 car? Second place right now.
He's going to come across the line, so he's going to stay out there a little longer. I think he's trying to set up to have fresher tires towards the end of the run.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
This could have gone better for him. Alec Martinez leaves pit lane, a good stop for him. Whereas the 77 should be coming down the front straightaway, entering turn 1. He should get around that 18 car. Oh, really? Might not actually.
Oh, well, there you see Joshua Banks zoom around the 18.
That slip up costs Cabot a lot of time.
Yeah, so Cabot now coming into view, and with older tires, he's going to be behind the 18. So, like you said, it did cost him quite a bit.
Joshua Banks, however, he's already pitted. He's in front of Martinez by 1.3 seconds. It's going to dissipate quickly, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the big thing, is that Martinez is going to catch him in a hurry. I mean, Banks could try to hold that 18 off as much as he can, but it's going to be a tall order.
Joined now in the booth by the Outsider Racing Lead Administrator, Andrew Tuganoff. Andrew, welcome, and this season has been an exciting one. How's this race been so far from your perspective?
Well, I mean, guys, there's what? I think this race started around noon. I mean, it's probably one of the hottest parts of the days. Slicker racing, to be honest, really makes for really good racing. And one of the guys that seems to pick up on it a lot is Alec Martinez. Man, that boy can drive. But I mean, overall, the race has been really good. I am by far not surprised with the performance of everybody. Little hiccups on the earlier in the race, with Ronis and championship implications, as Eddie Trejo would call it, with Hinton, there early. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time here, but yeah, it's been a phenomenal race, and man, these guys can wheel an oval.
It seems like the reception to the new package has been mixed. I think there's some drivers that like it, most seem to dislike it, but when you change the temperatures and make it hot and toasty, do you find that the racing is better this way, or do you prefer it more the super speedway style with the cold weather?
Well, the thing I never understood about iRacing is when you're under somebody, your car gets loose. I mean, think about a car. I mean, what happens in real life when you're under somebody and they're on your door? I mean, you're going to get loose. The air gets sucked out underneath the car. I mean, I'm not Dale Earnhardt. I can't see the air, but that's how it is. But the tighter racing compared to the looser racing, tighter racing. I think the last tighter, cooler temperature race we had was Michigan. And I'm sure you guys remember that. And nobody could get away from each other. Nobody could really pass, and it made it for some pretty unpleasant racing, I'm sure, from the driver's perspective. But this looser racing is really.
We've seen we saw Alec Martinez go
amazing.
3 wide for the lead, and he got the lead away. Alec Martinez, a talent for sure. Probably a little bit, steps around the bounds of what to say, when to say it.
Yeah.
But the talent-wise, though, what do you think about this driver in this 18 car?
He loves Kyle Busch, right? Kyle Busch can wheel a car, and I'm not gonna talk bad about Busch, and I'm not gonna compare anybody, but everybody hears this now. I think that kid can wheel a car like Kyle Busch can. I mean, this is vintage Kyle Busch, dominating fast, can drive it sideways. Best overall talented driver in the Cup Series right now at this point. And Alec, man, he can wheel a car here. I'm trying not to say anything vulgar, but he can wheel a car, man. And SimTV, you guys got him next season, I believe.
That is correct. And you see a driver like this, you see him excel at the hot racetracks. I remember at Kansas when he won his first race of the season. What kind of talent do you require for a hot racetrack versus a cold one? And does it take a different kind of style to be good at a hot track versus a cold one with this package?
Hot to cold, I mean, I think the racing would be a lot tighter. But I don't know the schedule how we got it now. Next season, I think you're going to see. I'm not trying to favor anybody. I love this kid, Alec Martinez. He can drive, but how the schedule is now, time of year, the tracks will be hot and they're going to be slick. So hopefully I answered your question, man. I can't imagine what that right rear is going through right now.
Thinking back on this season, outside of Racing League, the inaugural season of this Cup Series League, diverse schedule, road course racing, short track, speedway, super speedways, all the above. Looking back, successful season, and what would you grade the league as a whole on a letter scale from A to F on how the season's been?
An A to F, I ain't going to be biased. I ain't going to give it 100%, but overall in the end, man, I'd have to give it at least an A-. These guys are phenomenal. We go through people, you know, I'm not going to say less talented drivers, but we go through a lot of people, and these guys tonight that are not even contending for a championship, I'm not excluding anybody that's not in this race, but I mean, they're still showing up. And these guys, this group we have right now is, I can't wait till the 31st of August. I'm telling you, I wish we could do it right now after this race and start a whole new season, but they've done a great job, man. Everybody involved.
Everyone has done a great job, and looking back from the Virtual Racing League, which obviously shifting their name and the Cup Series side, you know, looking back at last season, that battle between Eric Hutton and Connor Horn, has that iRating cap been a positive thing in your opinion for the racing this season?
Well, if you think about it, the iRating cap wasn't as bad. I would let it go here and there, a couple hundred, but this package alone has changed it up. Nothing against Hinton running next season and all these guys, everybody that's really good on the old package, but for me, this car is hard as hell to drive. The iRating cap is kind of, I can't say it's going out the window, but I mean, when was the last time you saw a really bad race here? Every week something's going on.
Andrew, we want to thank you for jumping in the booth with us. It's been a pleasure to broadcast for your league the second time. Actually, is this the third season or second season we've been with you? I don't even remember. I think it's the second season.
1.5, maybe, or 2.5.
Something like that.
Like your first race, you broadcasted Daytona, the old bumpy Daytona, and I was in that one and choked that one away.
I think the first one was actually Watkins Glen, I believe.
Maybe it would have been.
I think that was back, yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and sorry for rambling on for the last 15 minutes, but I appreciate time in the booth, and you guys go do your thing. You guys do a great job, and everybody here at ORLR thanks you very much for everything you've done for us.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. We'll talk to you later, but we have huge implications, Finian. The 13 of Eli Hinton,
she gone.
Motor expired. He can't gain any more spots, so Butler now is in a position where he has to get as many positions as he can. The problem is he's got a lot of work to do. He needs a caution, and he needs some carnage.
And he needs to finish in 4th too. So I mean, regardless of what it is, like right now, actually, you know, honestly, when's the last time a champion has ever been said, you know, declared, and the dude sitting in the pits with a damaged car? I'm kind of, in actual racing.
Beats me, dude. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
All I can tell you is that I don't expect a caution, and so Butler might be in a hard spot there. But if he gets one, this 6 car is going to do something crazy.
Yeah, I think he definitely needs one. He also has to be a little bit careful. He's in danger of going a lap down. We actually saw when he came out of the pits, he was fighting with Martinez to stay on the lead lap. Now, obviously, Butler with some pressure tires was able to get away, but not entirely get clear of about a second or so in front of that 18 on Martinez. So easily go back a lap down, and that's definitely not what he needs in this race.
If you think about where the 6 car is on track right now, he needs to essentially get 3 positions, and he might get 1. So he really needs some help here. He's gotten a lot of help, but the 13 is helpless right now. You got to kick him while he's down, and this 6 car's got to find some pace these last 22 laps because he's going to need every little bit to make that championship happen.
Just kind of looking to let's go to Mark Emerson. How about him? I think really this is a nice turnaround for Larry's season on in the last few weeks. Finishing off the season and starting his own team in the Ford Mustang, which is where Eli Hinton will be going. So Well, that should be definitely a great team. Emerson, Hinton, and also Chris Stouffer will be transferring to that team as well. So that's looking to be a strong group of drivers.
Then we should talk to the driver in that number 13 car, Eli Hinton. Motor expired, Eli. What are you thinking? What's running through your head? How do you think this is going to turn out?
This has been kind of crazy, dude. I mean, I think Butler, I'm a couple points ahead, but he might pass these guys. I'm praying for green flag right now. Good thing my car didn't spill any oil out there. That's all I gotta say.
So looking back to the start of the race, not really, nothing you could do about it, but what happened there on that second lap?
Yeah, I mean, Angelo just got loose. It happens. I did the same thing to Reggie last night. I got loose in front of him, and he got into me. I guess that's karma for last night. But yeah, he just got loose. It's whatever. It's racing. It happens.
It's racing. It happens. Eli, we wish you the best of luck. Your hands are kind of tied here, so we hope you get this one finished out, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Finian. Yeah, that bet is laid. And we'll see if the 13 can get it done
and
in
he's,
the garage area.
Yeah, and he's a passenger. I mean, he was pretty much passenger driving for most of his race. Just trying to minimize the damage. But yeah, now there's officially nothing he can do, and just what to watch pretty much, and hope that 6 car does not finish 4th or higher.
19 laps to go, getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Maybe over in less than 10 minutes. Alex Bell, Eddie Trejo fighting hard. This is probably your potential for a yellow here if these two get together. They've been racing real hard these last 60 or so laps.
I'm sure they're going to try to get past each other because passing, we see he's coming a premium later in the run. There you see Eddie Trejo to the inside of Alex Bell.
Into turn 3. Chasing up the banking on turn 4. 18 to go this time by for Leader Martinez by 2.4 seconds. Bell's got 8th by 43 thousandths at the line. Be wide for a moment. That's Joshua Banks on the outside. He's back to P3. The strategy is what's hurt the 36 car tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely thought he might have been able to play it out, but just hasn't been able to. With between the strategy and just raw pace, I think really very few people can beat that 18. And speaking of Alex Martinez, he's expanded that lead to 2.6 seconds over this run between him and Cabot.
We talked about hot racetracks. Seems to be where he excels. 125-degree racetrack. Kansas, he won. Las Vegas, he should have won. He was the best driver there. Atlanta, best car here. We have another race going on, though. That's the Dash for Cash race fitting in and taking a look. Bell, Boyer, Chambliss, Emerson, and Stouffer. Right now, Emerson's sitting in the cash prize spot, except he needs to win the race to get that money, and he's 3 spots away from that, so I don't think that's likely.
3 spots away and 11.7 seconds back, so he's also probably one guy hoping for a caution just to have a shot at getting that money.
Down to the inside, Trejo. Drops to the inside, Brent Chambliss. He's a little bit off the pace, I think, and Button Motorsports teammates here. Maybe there'll be some team orders to let that 6 car by, potentially give him another point or 2.
I mean, well, I won't work with it because I don't want to be thrown the wrong way. I mean, honestly, I can see them doing. I'm kind of curious on how that would be viewed. I don't know.
I know no one can see this right now, but I'm shrugging. But last time by, Chambliss is 2 tenths off. Take a look at their last pit, though. Chambliss pit 24 laps ago. Butler, I mean, it makes sense that Chambliss's off the pace because he's pitted a long time ago. I mean, Butler's got the freshest tires of anyone in front of him. So, I mean, this makes sense logically to me.
Yeah, but even still, too, Butler would have to not only get past Chambliss, but then have to work 14 some odd seconds to try to catch Joseph Gali, and that's just a tie with Hinton, so yeah, really what the 6 car needs is a caution, but the rate this race has gone since little trouble beginning. After lap 30, it's been pretty much green all the way.
Eddie Trejo, Alex Bell, this is probably, like I said before, the closest thing you're going to get to a yellow. 3 tenths between them. This is the closest battle of the last 40 or 50 laps, honestly. But they've been very clean around each other. Ooh, I saw the 1 car, Gali, getting the fence out of turn 2.
Yeah, he's just been kind of struggling. I mean, he's running a pretty good race up inside the top 5, but just a little bit into the wall.
That's a pretty decent hit, actually. Chasing all the way up the hill, yeah.
Off the wall he goes.
He hit it pretty flat and square, so it shouldn't hurt him too bad. Ryan Chambliss in 6th. Elliot Butler chasing him back from 2.2 seconds. 13 laps to go in the season here for the Outsider Racing League at Atlanta.
Yeah, and really am excited for next season because there's a lot of driver transfers. Everyone's being thrown many ways. New teams starting up as well. Manufacturer changes. So yeah, a lot of changes for the series.
You know, a lot of times teams don't mean a whole lot. Here, they mean a lot because it's not just about on the racetrack. It's the social circle. And for example, on Sim Motorsports, putting Elliot Martinez with a driver like Casey Lakatos, two very different drivers, two very different attitudes, but them working together as a pair, I think, will be stronger. And this is true of any team. It's about how they attack the race, not only from the racetrack, but on the social side of things as well, and how they influence each other. And when you change around all the teams, it's going to completely throw everything you knew about the strategies out the window. We saw Casey Lakatos this year. Every time he'd run a race, if a caution came out, he'd stay out and get a point. And he's pointed his way up into a pretty decent points result this season, even though he hasn't been the most consistent car out there. So, team strategies, team switching, interesting for next season. Again, the next season starts August 31st. For Alec Martinez, 10 laps to go.
Really coming down to it. Hasn't been, I would say, this race really hasn't been a nail biter per se. But actually, as I say, Ben Martinez has got loose too. Yeah.
Got on board. That was a bigger slide than you want to be doing with 10 to go.
Not really like he needs to completely push. He's got a comfy cushion of 2.5 seconds back to Adam Cabot, but could have been. But this, as I was saying earlier, this race not entirely a nail biter, definitely pretty interesting between the playoff championship picture between Butler and Hinton, and it's been close for most of this race, but I'm sure for Butler not close enough. And I mean, if you look back to last week, remember Butler and Banks getting into it at the end of the race at Rockingham. That cost Butler a few points that might have actually gotten the championship in this picture. So, and you know, there's a thing as a driver. I do this. I'm sure quite a few other drivers do this. You know, once you finish the season and you're close to a guy that you're in front of, maybe for the championship spot too, you just look back. You know, the finishes that if you got those extra 2 points, you would have been sitting in a better position. And I'm sure Butler's going to look at that. But I mean, he mounted a hell of an effort though, especially just being thrown into the championship picture last second after what happened to Wright.
7 laps to go this time by. Martinez has led the majority of the laps in this race. He's only won one time back at Kansas, and also that race wasn't a nail-biter either. It had a lot of yellows at the beginning, but from halfway point on, it was clean and green. And that 18 car is mean and green with the Monster Energy on the hood of that race car. He has been so good this season, but consistency not there. But consistency isn't going to matter here at Atlanta. He's just been solidly fast the whole race.
Cabot behind with dirt track. He's actually been gaining some time, although I imagine that Martinez is backing off just a little bit just to make sure he doesn't make a mistake, as the finish line's pretty much in sight here.
Oh, 77 sideways again out of turn 4. He's trying to get back to the 18, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough unless Martinez makes a huge mistake. But I think Cabot at this point, end of the season, he's not running for points. He's just throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Elliot Butler running 7th on the racetrack. That's Chambliss for 6th. He'll be 2 points short of the tie if he gets by this 21.
Yeah, just 2 points short. Yeah, again, very close picture overall. But again, not probably close enough for Butler's liking. But again, they're still getting closer. We might have a caution that could change. Flip everything on its roof yet again.
Again, Elliot Butler, not a single win to his name this season. He's been in contention several times. But you think back to some of the races where he was running well and things didn't go his way, and that's going to be frustrating to end the season without a W. Eli Hinton had 2 wins at ISM and at Daytona Road. That's what launched him in the later part of the season into this championship position. Jeff Wright's blunders at Daytona put him out of the championship.
Whoa! Chambliss in the wall off of turn 4. He's still struggling to save it, and he does. That could have been ugly.
Yeah, I just got loose, pounded the fence, so that's concrete there. Kept it straight. We'll continue.
Yeah, right in front of Elliot Butler, too. So Butler will get on by and move up into 6th. So now officially 2 points out of Eli Hinton.
Alec Martinez in that 18 car will have 3 laps to go in the season. and 3 laps to his second win of the season. 3 to go for Alec Martinez. Cabot's closing, 1.8 back. He's still got a lot of work to do, but he is closing.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be enough. No real battles going on elsewhere on the track.
For Alec Martinez, 13 years old, from California.
Yeah.
This kid, we've said it so many times, but he needs to harness the talent. In the later part of the season, and at the hot racetracks, he's been able to harness it. And he's, at Las Vegas, it was the pit road speeding. One little mistake that took him out, and there was no cautions to save him. But here, not only was he fast, he played the strategy well. This kid knows what he's doing. And I'll be damned if next season he isn't championship contender. Missed the chase this season.
Cabot, you're tracking it.
Oh man, he almost wrecked it still.
I think he wants to go on the rally course.
Big slide for them out of turn 2. Wow.
What you were saying?
I was saying, the white flag is in the air for Alec Martinez. 1 lap left in the season, and 1 lap left until he gets a second win. For Eli Hinton, he sits in the pits, and he, in just under a lap, is going to win the 2019 championship. Butler is in 6th place, but that's not going to be enough. On the back straightaway, Alec Martinez 2.1 seconds over Adam Cabot. Through 3 and 4. It's been a long and tumultuous season for this 18 car, but it's going to end on top of the podium. Alec Martinez wins at Atlanta. The championship will go to Eli Hinton's Sim Motorsports Toyota Camry, even after finishing 15th, 31 laps down.
Yeah, and with the rest of the order coming through, Cabot will finish in 2nd place. Joshua Banks, I'm not sure they actually crossed the line yet, but just crosses the line narrowly in front of the 22. Mark Emerson will finish in 4th. Yusuf Ghali will round out your top 5. Elliot Butler, I think he's going to come home in 6th. A little bit disappointed. Just 2 points shy of the championship. But I think it was a good fight.
It was close, but it wasn't quite enough for the 6th Elliot Butler. Comes across the line. Last car on the lead lap. Not enough.
Yep, not enough indeed. I am a little bit disappointed though because we're not going to get dual burnouts because one of the cars is one of the
cars is destroyed.
Yeah,
it is unfortunate. For a good fight though for Elliot Butler. And again, he top 10'd you to death. He'll top 10 you even in the finale here, but it wasn't enough for Alec Martinez though. Celebration. Here's a look at your race results. Not a nail biter for sure, but a good, solid, long green flag race. At the beginning of the season, Eli Hinton struggled. Was not popular on the racetrack, got himself into accidents. And then it was announced that Eli Hinton would not be returning to Sim Motorsports for next season. And after that, something lit a fire under him. And since then, he has been absolutely dominating. Wasn't a dominant performance tonight by the 13, but it was by the 18 of Alec Martinez, his 2nd win of the season, and a spectacular burnout to go with it.
That's a great burnout. I was just about to say Cindric should learn from that because wow, that was pathetic in the race. But yeah, Martinez gonna light them up down the straight, doing a great job not hitting the wall.
Wow. Well, I told you he's got talent.
Yeah, there he goes. All right, that was a good one.
Victory
for me
for the 18. We're going to talk to your champion winner and the race winner and several others when we come back from break in just a moment. Stay with us.
To most, driving is just a mundane task between point A and point B. Nothing more. It's the frustration of traffic at 8 a.m. The feeling of sickness on a long ride. The car? Just a tool. It's supposed to be practical, reliable, and fast. But the speed is really the reason cars exist. Born out of a necessity to make that A to B trip just a little bit faster. Some have a deeper connection with cars. Found somewhere in the bond of man and machine, a desire to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's the extension of mind and body to something more exciting than just another appliance. And these people never cared about practicality or reliability. To them, the only thing that matters is speed. We're born with a competitive nature, part of a biological necessity that is not yet worn off with time. People have raced for thousands of years, and that competition has transcended history and found its way to the industrial age. Railroads raced to build across the country, replacing the horses whose strength is still used as a benchmark for power today. And as personal vehicles became popular, the railroads died off. What once was the quickest way across the country became snail's pace in comparison. The interstate highway system expanded and cars populated every driveway. And the competition between types of transport quickly transitioned into the race to have the fastest car. Bragging rights. Manufacturers like Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW emerged in auto racing, each trying to one-up the other. Building engines became an arms race. Who could build the fastest dinosaur-powered landing? So while the passion for cars has died for most, there are still people that are fascinated by racing. The sights, the sounds, the smell of burning rubber and spent race fuel lingering in the air, this is what attracts us to the sport of auto racing. We are empowered by drivers that climb in impossibly fast cars and put everything on the line for the sake of competition. Drivers who know that one slip-up can lead to disaster. And for the longest time, wishing to be a race car driver was just a childhood dream. All we could ever be was a spectator. Opportunities? Limited and expensive. Reserved only for the who's who of the racing world. Until now.
Welcome back to Sim TV. Here now with second place finisher Adam Cabot in the 77 Lawn Tech Camaro. Adam, a great race for you, P2, driving it like a dirt car those last couple laps. Walk us through the last 50 or so laps trying to track down that 18.
Long story short, he was just faster than I was. I'm not really sure exactly where he was beating me, but Alec drove the wheels off the car, and I thought I was giving it 100% the whole race, but then that last 10, I figured, you know what, like, I don't care if I wreck trying, I just need to know I left it all out in the tracks. So, yeah, I gained on him a little bit there. That's probably because he was being conservative, made a couple mistakes. But, yeah, overall, good race. And, you know, I expected it to be a lot like Las Vegas, and it was in some ways. It was really similar with the way the cars drove, but there just wasn't really much of an upper groove, which made passing extremely difficult.
Looking back at your 2019 season as a whole, you have 2 wins recorded. As of coming into this race, you're 11th in the point standings. Go back and talk to me about your season as a whole, and do you feel like you're going to do better next season? Talk to us about your plans for next season and all that.
I thought the season went really well overall. I didn't really know what to expect going in as a new competitor, but to win 2 races and you know, feel like I had speed week in and week out was really cool. As for next year, be racing for Hutton Motorsports. That's gonna be pretty cool to have some teammates. And yeah, hopefully you can just have another good solid season.
All right, Adam Cabot, second place tonight in the 77, 2 wins on the season, a good season and a good race. Adam, thanks for talking.
All right, thanks, Kyle. See you next season.
Absolutely. Next, we're going to talk to race winner Alec Martinez, who won his second race of the season and the final race of the season. Alec, we talked to you earlier. You seem pretty confident in your pace, but the hot racetrack's good for the 18. Victorious, second time of the season. First of all, congratulations, and walk us through your night.
Yeah, thank you. Man, that was fun. I had a blast racing with Joshua, Yusuf, and Adam for those few, I think, like the first long run that we had. It was awesome. Just trying to, you had to make moves, and you got to get out of the dirty air. And it was awesome to, you're able to move around with this, this package. Usually, we're always stuck in one line, and this time we were able to move to, different lines, get out of that dirty air. And man, this thing had clean air. It was fast. So it's a good way to end on a high note for Vincent Motorsports, and excited to race for you guys in Sim TV, and maybe we can go get a few more next season.
All right, well, Al, congratulations. Enjoy this one. We'll see you at the season opener on August 31st driving a Toyota Camry. Thanks for talking.
Thank you.
Next on the list is going to be the driver, the number 6. That is going to be, if I can find him here. Where did he go? There he is. Elliot Butler, who finished second in the point standings after a long battle with Eli Hinton tonight. Eli was down, and Elliot, you were trying to kick him while he was down, but just a couple points short. Walk us through your night and trying to chase down that 15 or 13 in the points.
Well, I knew I needed something to happen to him. It did. Thought we were in a pretty good spot. And then it seemed like people was scraping the wall or hitting shit. And excuse my language, sorry about that.
No worries.
But just people dropping out of the race over a little damage was killing me. Because every time I was like, that's another spot. But I was just trying to be consistent. I knew I wasn't the fastest guy out there, trying to play a little strategy. Just didn't have things fall our way.
Looking back at 2019, no wins, but how do you plan on changing that for the next season that starts on August 31st?
I just got to take advantage of the opportunities. I feel like I threw a couple away this year. Really disappointed that drop connection at Vegas. Thought I had a good shot at that one if we were on the lead lap at the end there. But then last week, should have closed that one out, didn't do it. And to be honest, those were 2 races that killed winning this championship. So kind of blame myself for some of that, and technical difficulties happened too. But hopefully next year it'll be a little stronger. Not so many back in the top 10 finishes, more top 5s and a few wins in there.
Elliot Butler, a couple points short, but a great result in the points. Elliot, thanks for talking, and better luck next season.
Thanks, man.
All right, and now we're finally going to talk to the driver of the day. It's going to be the driver of the number 13 Sim Motorsports Camry, Eli Hinton. Eli, the beginning of the season, there were doubts, but now there's none. Multiple wins this season. Got a little scary at the end there, but a championship trophy to you in that number 13. Congratulations, thank you, and talk to us about your race and your season.
Yeah, about peed myself there at the end. I was getting a little scared, especially when Elliot was driving toward the front. He was really fast. He played the strategy great at Atlanta today. I mean, he led that halfway point and got a lap led and getting the bonus points. I really thought he was going to give me that, but luckily I somehow finished 15th, and I don't know. I feel like I had a really good chase. I was contending for the win like almost every race. Just these last 2 races at Rockingham and today, just kind of unfortunate, but it happens. And luckily, I built a buffer up and held the lead.
Looking back at this season, what was the turning point for you in terms of changing the results and kind of getting out of the messes and starting to win some races? Was there a turning point, or did you just start kind of slowly running better?
I'm not really sure what was going on at the beginning of the season. I don't know if my head just wasn't in it or what. I mean, I feel like I'm just as good as I was then, but just something clicked. I'm not sure what it was, but I just started actually running decent and getting those wins. I think it's my confidence.
Confidence for sure. Looking into next season, a team change for you. Plans for next season. How do you think next season's going to go, and do you think you can repeat?
I'm looking forward to next season. Hinton Motorsports open up the shops again. Going back to a Ford Mustang now, and it's going to be me and Ben. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure Ben's going to be able to race. I think he's qualifying for it. But it's going to be me and Ben, and we're going to try to stay up front. He's been spotting for me all year, crew chiefing for me all year. I've got to give a shout out to him. Honestly, he's probably the one who's really helped me win. Because whenever he started spotting and crew chiefing for me, that's kind of when the turning point came, and I started running better. And I also want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to run for you. And yeah.
And get paid. There is a check coming your way. Eli. Congratulations on the 2019 championship, and good luck next season in your venture with Hinton Motorsports.
Yep, thanks.
All right, Finian, 2019 season, at least the summer season, complete. And I don't think that could have been a better season overall in just terms of how things went. I think this was a very good competitive season. We saw some great racing at all sorts of different racetracks. The road courses, think back to Indianapolis. That was one of the best races we've ever broadcasted. Las Vegas is probably one of the best oval races we've ever done. Looking back at the season, what's your favorite moment?
I think Indy Road for me. That race had a little bit of everything in it. You really couldn't get much better than that. Close up in the front, some drama up in the front, as well. Guys going up and down the order. You didn't really know who was going to win the race, and it was close at the end. Came down pretty much to the white flag for that race. That was probably my favorite race. But yeah, great driving from everyone this season. I don't really think there has been a bad race in the series for all 20 rounds. So that was really that's a really good accomplishment in my book.
Yeah, I think my favorite race probably had to be last week at Rockingham. I thought that was a spectacular race. Some drama there as well, and a great racetrack with a lot of history. I want to thank Andrew Talganoff and David Mott Jr. for putting on this series and paying out of their own pocket every single week to put this on for the drivers. They do a great job running this league, and here's to many more. The next season will begin on August 31st. I believe at Daytona Speedway is where we're starting again. Pretty sure. Well, of course, you'll see the links pop up here in a few weeks. We want to thank you for watching SimTV and choosing to be with us. And you'll see us tomorrow night at 9:40 p.m. for the Yinzer Graphics Unreal Tour from Daytona Beach, Florida for some bumpy banking and some drafting. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next season, August 31st. Have a good night.